up next.
On Your Pittsburgh.
Then don't you think that's true?
He's the voice of Kristoff in Frozen and starred in Hamilton on Broadway. So what's Jonathan Groff doing in Pittsburgh?
It feels like home.
And he teaches us how to do his Hamilton accent.
Century 3 Mall.
It's the newest indoor entertainment center in our area.
And one of the hottest attractions are the go-karts. I'm Megan Schiller, and I'll take it on a ride.
How an Oriental rug led to the downfall of a Pittsburgh mayor. We'll unravel the story you don't know.
Would you like to be able to take your dog to work every single day?
We visit the Pittsburgh companies that think dogs are a plus.
And David and I check out a new local restaurant with Southern style and an elegant flair.
These are amazing. Wow.
From KDKA-TV, this is Your Pittsburgh with David Highfield and Susan Copen.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Your Pittsburgh.
We begin tonight with a big-time star who's been living right here in our city.
Jonathan Groff is known for the Disney hit Frozen, the Broadway hit Hamilton, and he was here filming the first 2 seasons of the Netflix hit Mindhunter.
And I asked him about all of those and more when I had a chance to hang out with him. This is the place.
Yeah, this is the place.
Jonathan Groff takes us to one of his favorite spots in town, Zeke's Coffee in East Liberty.
This is on me.
No,
It's on me.
No.
He insists on paying, and we sit outside on an unusually warm day.
I love Pittsburgh. I really do.
And that's a good thing, since he's been here quite a bit, filming the first 2 seasons of Mindhunter, a Netflix crime drama based in truth.
You know, there's a lot more like me.
Do you think so? It's the birth of criminal profiling at the FBI, which started in the late 70s.
And he says Pittsburgh extras are a refreshing change.
It's not like LA where your background actors are sort of career background actors. There's like an excitement on set with the people that are doing the background here.
This is fresh lacquer. Seriously, were you raised in a barn?
One of his biggest roles requires no actors on the set. In fact, it's just his voice. He plays Kristoff in Disney's wildly successful Frozen. Kristoff is Jonathan's normal voice, but he also does Kristoff doing Sven's voice.
Every one of them's bad, except you.
It's like this. I talk like this.
Sven, don't you think that's true?
Yeah, people will beat you and curse you and cheat you.
Frozen fans sometimes approach him, but kids are often puzzled.
Their parents get really excited, and they look in total confusion of, like, what? I don't really understand. He's not blonde.
His other huge hit was playing King George in Hamilton on Broadway.
You remember you belong to me.
He stepped into the role last minute, replacing an actor, and had just 1 day of rehearsal.
I was just in the king costume as myself. Like, oh my God, I'm in Hamilton. Okay, this is so weird.
He wound up being nominated for a Tony and winning a Grammy for the cast album.
So don't throw away this thing we had.
Stephen Colbert asked him to teach him the King's Walk.
Okay, so now you're just gonna wanna put one foot in front of the other without crossing them.
Oh my God, you're so great! And I asked him about the accent.
Could we have you read something in your King George voice?
Yeah.
So he reads a message on his phone.
3705 Clairton Boulevard, West Mifflin, PA.
I love it. Jonathan grew up on the other end of the state in Lancaster, where he says they talk a little like Pittsburghers.
On and over. On and over are 2 things that we say.
This photo of him as a teenager from the local paper shows him meeting actress Sutton Foster, whom he would later work alongside. His big break was Spring Awakening on Broadway, and his TV roles include Jesse St. James on the Fox show Glee.
Rolling in the deep.
Nowadays, Jonathan's being serious on TV in Mindhunter and having fun in Pittsburgh behind the scenes.
It's kind of a big city with a small city feel.
The second season of Mindhunter will be released later this year, so will Frozen 2.
In addition to filming here, Jonathan has another Pittsburgh connection. He was accepted into Carnegie Mellon's School of Drama, but he never attended. Instead, he was cast in a production of The Sound of Music, and, well, his career took off.
Good move there. And if you're suffering from the winter blues, we may have found the cure.
Yeah, Scene 75 opened up a couple of months ago where the Kmart used to be in Edgewood Town Center, and one of the most popular things they offer, indoor go-kart racing.
Megan Schiller took to the wheel to give it a try. Megan.
It was amazing. We had so much fun, and Scene 75 is billed as the largest indoor entertainment complex in western Pennsylvania. It spans 2 acres, filled with arcade games, food trucks, laser tag, mini golf, all fun. But I was there for something else, and no matter how much snow is on the ground outside, there's always a clean, winding road for thrill seekers inside.
Get into the cart number 1.
Buckle up, feet on the pedals, woo, and feel the excitement as you expertly navigate tight bends or not. All right, clearly I'm no Mario Andretti. Let's rewind that for a closer look. I did not mean to do that. And not one for the highlight reel, but I shake it off and I'm ready for more. The go-karts at Scene 75 in Edgewood Town Center are electric, so there's no emissions, and they're super quiet. On the straightaway, you can actually go up to 20 miles an hour, but this course is all about the curves. What makes this course harder than some other courses around
Because
town?
there's a lot of turns. It's just, it's constant turns with only one small straightaway. So that makes it exciting just because you're constantly going through the turns.
For Trent Kreitzer, it's fun all day long.
I mean, it was something that you just dream about.
He's a Scene 75 manager, so he gets to try out all the games here, and he's never bored.
It's because you have so much under one roof. Go-karts, laser tag, the XD Dark Ride at 4D Theater. We got the food truck alley, you got 130 plus arcade games on the floor.
The company started in Ohio, and this is their first Pennsylvania location. And when it comes to that go-kart track, how long is
It's
the
a
race?
4-minute race, and that varies. If we go family heat, adult heat.
The twists and turns are no joke.
Racers, start.
So now the karts are starting up. They're booting up.
Isaiah Maconda Lopez works the track and manages that magical clicker.
Speed 1 is family heat. Speed 2 is adult heat. We do not use speed 3.
And the real thrill comes with a race.
That means you, Highfield.
So I challenged David to get behind the wheel.
See you later.
Woo! He's out ahead at first, but through twists,
Holy smokes!
long, drawn-out turns,
I'm trailing you to make you nervous.
and only one straightaway, I zoom right past him to take the lead. We're talking 4 minutes of wind in your hair, adrenaline-pumping fun.
How's my hair look?
Neither one of us is quitting our day jobs, but the race ends in victory for me.
Bravo! Oh, we didn't make it!
I can't reach it. Good job.
All right, guys, I promise David and I are much better drivers on the streets. And they also have a high-tech system to record your speed and your lap time. So there are a couple other indoor go-kart places in our area, and we have the links posted for you. They're at KDKA.com/yourpittsburgh.
And you guys tried this out, but kids can also do this as well.
Little kids are encouraged. You have to be at least 10, though, to drive on your own. They also have double-seater go-karts for the little kids who have to be at least 3 feet tall, but you can still sit with your parents.
And we should mention, we had fun with that, but we also had fun playing some hoops there. I won't tell you who won, but you can watch our moves on the Your Pittsburgh section of KDKA.com. What do you say?
Rousing game. We are very competitive. Very competitive.
Still to come.
Thumbs up.
Susan and I check out an amazing new restaurant with slow smoked brisket.
You dance, dance, dance.
Plus, Pittsburgh companies who believe bringing your dog to work helps you and them.
And right after the break, a piece of history you probably don't know, how a rug led to the downfall of a Pittsburgh mayor. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Emmy Award-winning Your Pittsburgh, honored with 2 more Mid-Atlantic Emmy nominations this year.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for our You Wanted to Know segment.
Our last vote was pretty close, but more of you wanted to know where the banana split was born. Well, it was Latrobe, and we brought you that story.
But since the vote was so close, we also wanted to bring you the other choice that we gave you, a tale worth unraveling.
It's about an Oriental rug that led to the downfall of a Pittsburgh mayor. The year was 1926. A man named Charles Klein became mayor of Pittsburgh, a role he learned to relish. He loved meeting celebrities of the day as they came through town.
He kind of liked those big cigars, those fancy suits. He enjoyed the life of being a big shot.
But while being a big shot, the nation's economy was tanking. So was Pittsburgh's. The Great Depression meant mills and mines closed. While people struggled, the dapperly dressed Klein did not. So with his expensive taste and the help of his procurement director,
they bought all kinds of lavish things. He rode around town in a big Lincoln Town Car with his monogram on it. And then he bought a rug, an Oriental rug.
Not just any rug.
A really big Oriental rug.
The rug is now at the Heinz History Center.
You can see it's a beautiful Oriental rug. I mean, the guy had good taste. You got to hand him that.
He reportedly got it from Joseph Horns, and it cost a whopping $1,350, more than the average worker made in a whole year back then. Trouble was, the city had a rule. Council had to approve anything that cost more than $500, and that meant trouble for Mayor Klein.
So the rug and about 45 other things were named in this indictment. He was arrested.
This photo from the Post-Gazette archives shows the mayor on the first day of his trial. He was sentenced to jail, resigned, but never served time because of failing health. He died a few months later. The rug, however, remained in the mayor's office for years, until 1992.
Let's go! Scratch my back with the hacksaw!
When memorable Mayor Sophie Masloff decided she wanted the worn-out rug removed.
The famous Klein Oriental rug.
And it so happens that Mayor Charles Klein is also known for being the last Republican mayor of Pittsburgh.
And we also want to clarify, everyone keeps calling it an Oriental rug, but an expert tells us we're all wrong. It's actually a Persian rug, so that's now cleared up.
All right, it's time for you to vote for next time.
Do you want to know about the movie theater at the old Pittsburgh airport? Sure, we have stores and restaurants now, but back in the day, travelers catching a flight could also catch a film.
Or do you want to know about the Pittsburgh parking chair? We save spaces with them, but how did that idea start, and is it even legal?
Let us know which one you want to know about. Go to KDKA.com/YourPittsburgh and vote. Whichever story gets more votes, we'll have for you on our next show.
Still to come. It is all so good. David and I head to a new restaurant with Southern style and plenty of flavor.
Speaking of flavor, do you know what Detroit-style pizza is? We'll show you the Pittsburgh place serving it up.
And after the break,
Roxy, what are you doing? They're being so good.
we're going to the dogs. Find out why some Pittsburgh companies say it's a big benefit to bring your dog to work. Stay with us.
You're watching Your Pittsburgh on KDKA-TV with David Highfield and Susan Copen.
Welcome back. Taking your dog to work with you every day is a trend that's growing.
About 8% of workplaces across the country are now dog-friendly. That's up considerably in just the last couple of years.
And businesses that allow them say there are all kinds of benefits. So we visited two Pittsburgh companies you might say have gone to the dogs.
You're so sweet. Good girl.
Roxy the Pomeranian is right at home at Smith Brothers Advertising on the north side. And so is Sawyer, the yellow English lab, not to mention Max, and Luma, who's pretty curious about our camera. They all seem to get along swimmingly. Luma belongs to Nora Denuzzo, who began working at Smith Brothers right after she adopted Luma.
There's been times when it's been really important for me to have her here, where I'm taking her to go do something after work or to a vet appointment. So yeah, it's a great benefit, you know, and to know that she doesn't have to be alone at home every day.
Nice to meet you. And she tells me having dogs around creates a relaxed vibe. You can tell this is a fun company. As soon as you walk in, they actually have a slide that takes you down to the second floor. But before you wonder what kind of company is this, they have some big clients like Nestle, Skinny Cow, PPG, Smuckers, and Heinz. Lindsay Smith is one of the owners, and his dog May was the first dog here.
Just having them around makes the humans, frankly, behave a little better.
He says the benefits outweigh any downsides, that allowing dogs helps recruit and retain employees, and
If a new dog comes into the office, everybody kind of rallies around, and it kind of breaks down barriers between folks, maybe.
Across the river downtown, the company Four Moms is known for creating high-tech products for babies, like the Mamaroo, which rocks a child the way a mom would. And guess what? The people who create this stuff can bring their dogs to work too.
Dance, 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 almost, getting there.
Some dogs like Newton are just getting used to going to work.
Does he seem to like coming to Four Moms?
Yeah, definitely. He gets very excited when I put my jacket on and I call him over to the door and I have my car keys. He knows that he's going to the office.
Benny is a regular here and actually stays in one of Four Moms' playpens next to his owner Jake Rosenthal's desk.
It's great. It's nice. It's stress relief and, you know, helps you focus on the job if you're not worried about getting home to let your dog out.
I think it definitely is a perk for certain employees. They definitely view it as something of like, hey, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Grizzly apparently isn't fond of TV cameras, but otherwise he and Polar are quite content in the office. Jamie Walker has never worked at a place where dogs were allowed before. In honor of Four Moms, she even created a Four Dogs water bowl.
It definitely lightens the mood. It's nice to have kind of the break from your day-to-day, everyday work. Beats staying at home for them.
So we saw plenty of dogs, no cats?
No cats. Of course, cats and dogs don't always mix real well, but both companies have rules to follow if you're going to bring your dog. Obviously, they don't want any big disruptions, and of course, you have to clean up any accidents.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Now let's check on what's new in the area.
A new airline will be flying out of Pittsburgh.
There's a new place to get some unique pizza.
But let's begin with new life for one of the oldest houses around.
There are plans to turn this neglected home in Hazelwood into a Scottish pub. The Woods House could open by fall. It was built in 1792 by Colonel George Woods, a surveyor for George Washington who laid out a plan for our city. Via Airlines is taking flight at Pittsburgh International. It'll offer direct flights to Birmingham, Memphis, and Hartford beginning in April. Fares start at $99 one way. Speaking of flying, there's a new resident at the National Aviary on the north side. Meet Autumn, a 4-year-old golden eagle rescued after an injury in the wild. She and the aviary's bald eagles will alternate appearances during daily talks. If you scream for ice cream, hold your ears, Lawrenceville, because Millie's Homemade Ice Cream will open its 3rd location along Butler Street in April. They also just opened a pop-up store at Duquesne University. There are lots of new apartments in the city, but if you'd like to buy, there's a high-end option on the old Saks Fifth Avenue site. Lumiere will have 86 units starting at $225,000. All the way up to the $2 million penthouse with a terrace. CMU and Microsoft have teamed up to study edge computing. It's used in an app called Open Artist, which lets you see things through your phone's camera the way famous painters might. It's also important for driverless cars and other automated devices. Finally, after opening inside Smallman Galley in the Strip, Ironborn Pizza now has a Millvale location. They serve inch-thick Detroit-style pizza with a cheesy, crispy crust and sauce ladled on top after baking.
We kind of exploded maybe a year ago. So, yeah, things have been going great. Pittsburgh's been very receptive.
And the one you saw him making there, he piped ricotta cheese, added thyme, and drizzled honey on top. So good.
So good. Now that we're hungry, it's time to eat. If slow smoked brisket and Cajun hush puppies sound good to you, wait until you see the new place David and I are visiting.
Contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to know what you want to see. After all, our show is called
Your Pittsburgh.
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 Your Pittsburgh. Your Pittsburgh.
Welcome back. Now to the moment we have been waiting for. Time to visit a cool new restaurant in our area.
This one opened up in Bloomfield. The owner describes it as traditional Southern cooking with an elegant flair. And David and I describe it as delicious. Sugar and Smoke is sophisticated and fun at the same time. Down-home Southern cooking and a modern spin. Don't double dip.
I won't double dip.
David and I start with Cajun hush puppies, which do not disappoint. Next up, the lobster po' boy, flavored with spicy mayo, tarragon, and thyme.
Look at all the lobster in there.
It's right up David's alley.
It's light and kind of rich at the same time.
We also order a house favorite, the Sugar and Smoke Stack. Now that's a stack. A burger, pulled pork, and brisket, all on one bun. But wait, there's more.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Delicious Cajun salmon and rosemary butter and brisket that's been smoked for 18 hours.
Like, I have a bit of a dilemma. We ordered a lot of food, and I kind of want to eat everything I see here.
So we kind of do. The brisket with horseradish sauce.
That's perfection.
It's perfection.
We even love those sides.
That is a good fry.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, on your fry scale, on the Susan Copeland fry scale.
This is a 10.
A 10 on the fry
10.
scale.
Owner Andrea Robinson used to be a chemical manufacturer, but gave up her corporate job to follow her passion for food.
Southern style cuisine, heavily inspired by Houston, Texas, where I lived for many years. Inspired by Charleston, South Carolina, where the food is fantastic.
Susan's calling us to attention. It's time for dessert.
We finish with beignets, puffed pastry with cream and sauce.
This is good.
Again, it's called Sugar and Smoke, and it's on Liberty Avenue in Bloomfield. We have more information at KDKA.com/YourPittsburgh.
Yeah, it opened a few months ago in the spot that used to be Dell's for years and years. Well, before we go, a reminder to join us on Facebook right after this show.
Just like the Your Pittsburgh Facebook page and chime in to our live chat.
And that's going to do it for us. From all of us here, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Stand by to fade. Joe, have you seen my parking chair? And fade.